Hello and welcome back again to a daily portion of German. And this is in our series of grammatical issues, but we're actually taking up a kind of a stylistic uh, characteristic of German during this short presentation. And Irene is along with us today and helping us read together and translate. And if as we read the sentences, we want you to participate fully, so you can read together with her as she repeats after me when I read the German. But this one characteristic that we're focusing in on today is how German, the language itself, with all of its subordinating conjunctions and subordinate clauses, and it can actually be described as almost like setting out ideas vertically. English requires the order of the order of the words in English actually makes up the meaning of the sentence. But in German, you can put the direct object first, you can put a dative first, you can put a participial phrase first. Anything like that will then reverse the verb and the subject in the main clause, and then you have all of these extended adjective constructions and also the past participles floating out to the end of the clause, which really creates a lot of symmetry and also sort of extended interest in what's happening, because you don't find out until the end of the sentence where the main verb might be hiding, what the what the verb of the sentence really is. So let's read a little bit together, and we're just going to look at this one characteristic, this vertical structuring as found in German sentences, which I believe enables the language itself to dig into, or to be able to have the capacity of expressing philosophical ideas, and also of course the great genius of music, which is an abstract or philosophical sort of endeavor itself, don't you think? Anyway, I'm just going to read the beginning of this just to give you some context, and then we'll start translating around this area. Let's see, I have to put my marker here. Okay, can you read? Can you see this, Irene and everybody?
Yes.
Okay. Um, so in 1919, Tillich, this is Paul Tillich, was still occupied, noch dabei, first to become more acquainted with this new world. And I should say that the prior paragraphs talk about how Tillich was really Paul Tillich came to a very strong understanding of his own self, his mission or whatever, as he encountered art throughout his life. Okay, he was still occupied in becoming more familiar with this new world, i.e. the world of art, into which, directional accusative, into which he had coincidentally or by chance stumbled, hineingestolpert war. His old friend and his mentor from childhood, currently an art historian, Eckhart von Sudau, who, and we're going to pick up right here. So you have this sentence here, main sentence is his old friend and mentor from childhood, Eckhart von Sudau, who, and what does der refer back to, Irene? Oh,
Eckhart von Sudau.
good. Oh, and I made the mistake. Let's read some together so everyone can hear what it sounds like in German. Just picking up from here. Der ihn seinerzeit mit Darwin und Freud bekannt gemacht hatte. Everybody?
Der ihn seinerzeit mit Darwin und Freud bekannt gemacht hatte.
Öffnete ihm die Tür zur Welt der Malerei des Expressionismus.
Öffnete ihm die Tür zur Welt der Malerei des Expressionismus.
Great. Okay, so this Eckhart von Sudau, who, what does the der refer back to again, Irene?
Eckhart von Sudau.
Yeah, to that person. Just one second. Okay, who, and then where's the verb of this relative clause? So this is a relative pronoun because it refers back to this person, Eckhart von Sudau, who, and it serves as the subject of the sentence. And where's the verb of that relative clause?
Gemacht hatte.
Good, gemacht hatte, good. So, and you notice a relative clause because the helping verb comes in the second position than the main verb. And that means, how's that just that verb means by itself?
He had made.
He had made, and then what, and then you include this, he had made.
Made known.
Made known. And what's the direct object?
Ihn.
Good, very nice. So our convention is to I should have boxed this. This is actually serving as the subject in this relative clause, who had made him known or familiar, and then during his time with Darwin and Freud. Okay, so we're always practicing the means of unraveling these sentences, the grammar of these sentences, by, if you remember from earlier sessions, by identifying the verb complex first, and then identifying where, if it's a singular or plural subject, and then what the direct object is. And once you have that core sentence, then everything else normally will fall in place. Okay, who had made him during his time known, familiar with Darwin and Freud, and then what is this? What's the subject of öffnete?
Eckhart von Sudow.
Yeah, here's the name right here. Eckhart von Sudow opened, and then what's the direct object?
Die Tür.
Detour. Notice the direct object or any part of the main, the core sentence, as we're calling it, verb, subject, direct object, can never be found in a prepositional phrase. So here it's zur Welt, and then it's the genitive of the painting of expressionism. So that's why that's another good way to eliminate other items that are not part of the core sentence. And what about ihm? What case is that?
Dative.
Dative. Okay. So how would you translate this by itself? So
He
sudo.
opened the door for him.
Keep going. To
the world of the painting of expressionism.
good. Okay, great. Okay, very nice. So here's the next sentence. Let's read this one together, everybody. Tillechs Interesse hatte sich von der primitiven Flucht in die Kunst, everybody?
Tillechs Interesse hatte sich von der primitiven Flucht in die Kunst
zu einem Studium der Kunstgeschichte weiterentwickelt.
zu einem Studium der Kunstgeschichte weiterentwickelt.
Okay, where's the verb complex?
Hatte sich weiterentwickelt.
Very nicely. So you notice how Irene has picked up the reflexive pronoun here, which is really part of the verb complex. And entwickeln means to develop, and weiterentwickeln means to further develop. So how would you translate that as verb complex?
It had further developed itself.
Good. So here, and what is this S doing here?
It's possession. It's like a genitive.
Which you could put on a proper noun, especially. Okay, so the subject is his interest. So Tillech's interest, had developed itself further, and then finish that.
From the primitive flight into the art to a study of art history.
Okay, so as a young person from a great primitive feeling and enthusiasm to a serious study of art history, actually. Okay, so here, in this next two sentences, from im all the way down to stan, let's read these together, or at least the first part together. Im Krieg hatte überdies auf seinem letzten Heimaturlaub ein Offenbarungserlebnis gehabt. Everybody?
Im Krieg hatte überdies auf seinem letzten Heimaturlaub ein Offenbarungserlebnis gehabt.
Good. So this is the main clause here because als means as he. So this is good to start identifying where these subordinating conjunctions that they introduce subordinate clauses, not the main clause. Okay, where's our beautiful and wonderful verb complex in the first sentence?
Hatte gehabt.
Good, and that means
He had had.
he had. Notice Irene nicely introduced he singular. So and obviously this is the subject here. He had had. What's the direct object?
Ein Offenbarungserlebnis.
Great. Okay. Why wouldn't it be auf seinem letzten Heimaturlaub?
That's a prepositional phrase.
Good. So no elements of the core sentence can be found in prepositional phrases. And this means Urlaub means vacation. So Heimaturlaub is he was in the service. So this was like his home stay, his home vacation. Coming back periodically to stay at home before going back into the service. Okay. And then here, als what's the subject? Where's the verb of this one?
Stand.
Good. And that means from stehen stand gestanden. As he stood. Here's And is there a direct object?
No.
No, no. Okay. So, and then this is the seeing angels. Okay. So, you want to go from here all the way to and Tillich's Interesse and all the way down to Stand?
Tillich's interest had further developed itself from its primitive flight into art into a study of art history.
Good.
In the war, he had had a revelatory experience about this on his last homestay as
Good.
he stood
Yeah, sorry.
as he stood before the Madonna with Singing Angels by Botticelli.
Great, great. As he stood before the vor der Madonna mit den Singenden, here's a present participle identified with nd, and this is a dative plural, mit den. So this whole thing is sort of dative plural here, with the n signaling the dative plural on the noun at the end of that phrase. Great, of. And then just fun just means of. It means from, but also means of. Okay, great job. Well, thanks so much, everybody, for tuning in. And this was a little bit of an example of German structured somewhat vertically. You have these subordinate clauses stacked upon one another, and it's the challenge is to find the main clause, and then everything syntactically falls around that or is constructed around that. So thanks so much, Irene, and everybody for listening, and hope you come back for another session of daily portion of German. Thanks so much. Bye bye.